you doing down here? What are you doing down here? Who's that? Who's this? Hello. Hi. Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a happy holidays. Because I don't have a single original bone in my body and I have zero creative ability, I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers do their guitar collections on YouTube. And I figured, you know, I got a bunch of guitars, maybe I should do the same thing. So I'll start from some of my favorite guitars that I don't really play that much anymore, and then I'll move up to the ones that I play all the time that you guys usually see. So this one here is a Telecaster build that I did. It was a kit from, I think, Solo Guitars. It was the first kit I've ever done. I took my time with it. The neck that came with it was a piece of trash. I threw it out right away. Bought a neck off eBay. The neck didn't really quite fit into the neck pocket properly, and I'm pretty sure it's a little too wide. So this thing is pretty much a nightmare to play. But what I really wanted to focus on was doing the finish. I think I finished it all right, but as far as playability, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the strings are hitting off the frets everywhere, and the frets aren't leveled, and the neck isn't really that good. So you guys will probably never see this guitar again. It's more of a wall piece than anything. Now that I sit here and play it, I could probably get this thing in working order if I just, you know, put some time into it, but I don't know. We'll see. Next we had a bass build, I guess, that I did. So this used to be a red Squier Affinity bass. I got it online for like 50 bucks. It was a piece of garbage. I still have the neck over there in the corner. I ordered a brand new neck off eBay, which is actually kind of a nice neck. It's almost like a roasted maple. It's really nice. The frets are done very well. I replaced the pickups in it. I don't remember what I put in it, but you know, they're not that great. They're nothing special. These strings are completely dead, and the bass doesn't play that well, but you know, I wanted to see if I could do it. I replaced the tuners, brand new tuners. I thought I'd be cool and put my own little Zenith. Don't know why I chose Zenith, but ordered stickers online. These fret markers are all stickers. So next we have my Yamaha, what is it, FGX 700 SC. I don't know, I guess it's like a middle of the road guitar. It's my only acoustic guitar. I didn't own an acoustic guitar until about 2 years ago. This was a gift to me. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's an acoustic guitar. It gets the job done. It's electronic. It has a pickup in there somewhere. The pickup's not that great. I think I might swap that out one of these days, but as far as acoustic goes, it gets the job done, that's for sure. Next we have my Kala ukulele. I got this about 2 years ago. I used to think ukulele was just like a child's toy. And then I saw that guy on YouTube who plays While My Guitar Gently Weeps on ukulele, and I started taking it a little bit more seriously. I still only know like the basic chords, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun to jam around on. At first I just bought like a $10 ukulele because I, you know, didn't know the difference. I thought they were all the same, and it was basically unplayable. So yeah, this was pretty good. I'm actually glad I bought it. I've had a lot of fun with this. So this is the first real bass that I've ever owned. It's a Squier vintage modified jazz bass. I got it about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. I can't really remember. I went for the 5-string because I also have a 7-string guitar that you're going to see in a little bit, and I really wanted that low B. I used to think that bass was easy, and I used to think that, you know, yeah, of course it's important, but, you know, just play with the guitar plays and you'll be fine. And, yeah, was I ever mistaken. Keeping this 5th string quiet is actually pretty difficult when you're doing anything, you know, up here. You can't have your thumb wrapped around if you're, you know, doing anything crazy. So it's been quite the learning curve. It's opened my eyes to, you know, bass, how essential bass is, and how, you know, how difficult bass is. It might be easy to play, but very, very difficult to master, and I'm not even close to that. I put some googly eyes on it for a video that I thought was funny, you know, a little while ago, and one of them fell off, and I just think it looks hilarious, so I keep this other one on. Who knew? So this is my Agile Pendulum 72527, and I think it's called Root Beer Flame. I got this about 2 or 3 years ago. Can't really remember. I basically got it because I wanted to try out an inexpensive multi-scale guitar with the fan frets. I've just always wanted to try one. I think they look cool, and I love them. I mean, the fan frets are great. The extended range in the bottom gives you that extra chunk on the low strings, and you know, the shorter range at the top makes it, you know, easier to play the crazy stuff if you want to. Also, the way the frets are fanned, you know, as you play, your hand naturally is, you know, facing this way, and then as you go up the neck, it faces that way, and the fan frets kind of, you know, they go with your hand. So I like it. I like it quite a bit. A couple things I did to this. Well, I say a couple things. I did one thing. I replaced the, I think they're called Cepheus or Cepheus pickups that come in stock in a lot of Agile guitars. I replaced them with the Seymour Duncan Sentient and Nazgul, you know, get a little bit more, a little bit better sound out of it. The build quality is fantastic, even though this is only like a $500 guitar. The build quality is fantastic. All the hardware feels solid. Grover tuners, which are really good. Don't know what kind of bridge this is, but you know, string through body saddles does the job. Alright, next, if you're familiar with my channel at all, you will have seen this guitar a lot. This is my Gibson Les Paul Classic. I believe it's like a 1967 reissue. This is the first guitar that I bought with my own money back in, I think, 2007. You know, I'm a huge Metallica fan, I always have been, and I just wanted a guitar with EMGs. James Hetfield played EMGs. I needed a guitar with EMGs. I had played, I think, a couple, you know, pawn shop strats before, and I had a pretty cheap Jackson Dinky, and I think a Godin Freeway Classic. And I just needed those EMGs, or at least I thought I did. And when I went to the music store, they had 2 guitars that were loaded with EMGs. This one and some Yamaha guitar. And at the time, this was a little bit out of my price range. I had to finance it. I think this was like $2,500, which as far as Gibson goes, that's, you know, pretty good. A couple things I did to it. I took the pick guard off because I thought it looked cool without it. Yeah, you can see it has, you know, holes drilled here and a hole drilled here where the pick guard goes. I have it somewhere. I don't really need it. A couple more things. I added the string. I added the string butler up here because, you know, Gibsons have that problem with the angle the strings come off the headstocks. You know, it doesn't stay in tune. It's super hard to tune. And still, you know, this thing is this guitar has been through hell with me. It still doesn't really stay in tune that great. These, you know, the Gibson Deluxe tuners are not very good at all whatsoever. Yeah, the string butler helped a lot with the tuning. I replaced the nut a while ago, but it was with a cheap nut, and that's another issue on itself. Another thing I did that I thought was really cool, you might not think it's cool, but you know, this is my video. I will do what I want. I have two knobs here. So I have the two knobs that came with the guitar, and then I have two more. This white one was from my very first guitar that I ever owned. It was some, like I said, a pawn shop Strat. So that knob is off that, and the second pawn shop Strat that I owned, that's a knob from that one. So I think that's cool, kind of, you know, remind me where I came from. One thing about this guitar, I've been in the Navy for about 10 years. I was deployed in 2012 for 9 months, and I took this thing with me. And I was overseas in the Middle East, and this thing was stored in an air-conditioned room, and it was played in ambient temperature. So it was stored in about, I don't know, 18 degrees Celsius, and it was played in about 40 or 45 degrees Celsius. So that, you know, took its toll almost every day, being taken out and put in and taken out, and the wood warped a little bit. I got some cracks in the finish here that, you know, I'll try to get in some shots of that. But yeah, this thing has been with me almost everywhere I've ever been. This is basically one of my babies. I use this guitar a lot for anything that's not in standard tuning, so I think right now it's in drop D. It's in drop D standard, and it's actually tuned to 429 hertz instead of 440 hertz because I'll be doing a, I think maybe a Pantera cover. But yeah, this thing loaded with the EMG 81s, like, this thing just rips. The second I put it in my hands, you know, 11 years ago or however long that was, I was expecting a huge chunky neck, and this neck just fits my hands perfectly. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, this guitar has some serious mojo. So this one is my baby. This is my Ibanez RGT 320Z Prestige. Something like that. You know, Ibanez doesn't really like having nice names for their stuff. I think the color is called the Regal Brown Burst. It's you know, neck through construction with a 5-piece neck. I think the neck is maple and walnut. I can't really remember. Rosewood fretboard, stainless steel frets. I think this is a quilted maple top. You know, has the binding. This thing is just amazing. I've done a couple things to this over the years and essentially just kind of put it back to the way it was made. For whatever reason, years ago I thought I needed a higher output pickup. So in the bridge here, I installed a DiMarzio X2N, which was Chuck Schuldinger's signature guitar, or signature pickup anyway, for his BC Rich Stealth. He was the guitarist and singer from Death. And the pickup on its own sounded fantastic. It sounded just amazing, but it didn't really match my neck pickup at all. So I'd be playing on the bridge pickup, switch to the neck for whatever reason, and it just didn't match. It wasn't a good match. So I went back to the original DiMarzio pickups that came with the guitar. I have no idea what they're called. I'm pretty sure they were made for this guitar specifically. I also, you know, there is a volume and a tone, but the volume I moved down here because it was getting in my way, and the tone is just kind of, you know, I taped it all up so it didn't move, and it's crammed inside the cavity. That's fine. This thing has the you know, wizard neck. It's a super flat neck, very fast neck. Anybody who's ever played any Ibanez guitars knows that, you know, the neck is super thin. Fretboard's very flat. This neck almost feels like a 7-string neck on a 6-string guitar. Like it's very wide, I find. It has the Ibanez's take on the Floyd Rose bridge. I think it's called the ZR Zero Resistance or something like that. It's insanely stable. Like, it's so stable it doesn't move whatsoever, which is good for tuning. And, you know, tuning issues, this thing never goes out of tune. I could let it sit for, you know, a year and it wouldn't go out of tune. But if you're trying to do any flutters or anything with the trem, it's not like a Floyd Rose, or if you smack it, it's going to bounce like this and then, you know, settle out. This thing, you give it a whack, or, you know, you try to do a flutter and it bounces and snaps right back into place. I don't really use trems anymore. I'm glad I have a guitar with one, just for the odd chance that I am going to use it, but don't really use it that much. This guitar has a pretty funny story. When I bought it about 9 years ago, I was young, I didn't have a ton of money. I saved up money for an Ibanez Xiphos, which I believe are discontinued. I think it was in the chameleon, whatever that color was. This guitar was badass. I played it in the store, it was amazing. I think it was about 700 bucks. When I got it home, I was playing it, and every time I played it, the E string would slip off. It would slip off the neck all the time, and then you usually get like caught up underneath the pickup here. And you know, I thought I could work around it, and I was trying to work around it, and it just kept happening so often. I kind of deemed the guitar unplayable. Like, it was just happening all the time. I brought it back to the shop. You know, full refund, no issue. It was a manufacturer's defect. The nut up here was slid this way, maybe 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, but that was enough to put this string at a tolerance to have it sliding off the neck all the time. So me, being a young guy, you know, I just had a brand new guitar. I was super excited. I couldn't leave the store without another guitar. So me, in all my wisdom, saw this one, thought it looked cool, picked it up. Immediately it felt natural in my hands. It just felt so good in my hands that, yeah, I want it. I definitely want this guitar. Did not look at the price tag before I picked it up. You know, might have been a mistake. I might not have bought it if I saw the price tag first, but I just brought it to the cash. I was like, yeah, I want this one. So I went from a $750 guitar to a $3,500 guitar. Which was way, way out of my budget. I didn't qualify for the financing because I was, you know, so young at the time. But I was a returning customer. Plus, they have all your information anyway, so if you don't pay, you know, they can come get you. I was a returning customer. You know, the guy had to go ask his manager. The manager approved me for the financing. It took me like 3 or 4 years to pay this thing off. But I'm really glad I did. This thing is an absolute workhorse, you know, handcrafted in Japan. I couldn't ask for a better guitar. This guitar has also been pretty much all over the world with me. I took it on that same deployment. For St. Patrick's Day, which where I'm from is a pretty big deal, on our ship we had a big party and we invited all the ships in the task group. So it was us, the Canadians, you know, we had some Dutch guys, some German guys, some Italian guys, and we had a band on the ship. We just played in our spare time. And our band played on St. Patrick's Day on the ship for a couple hundred people. It was really, really cool. It was something that I'll never forget. Yes, that's the Ibanez. This thing is amazing. If you ever, you know, if you ever get your hands on a Prestige model, actually I think even the Premier models or whatever they're called are really good as well, but give it a shot. You might not put it down, ever. Alright everyone, so this has been my extremely original, very long, very drawn out video of my current guitar collection. I'm sure, you know, this is all going to change in the near future. I have a couple guitars, this Ibanez and the Gibson, that will never go away. They will never leave my collection. In order for them to, you know, ever leave, they're going to have to break or catch on fire because they're never going anywhere. I hope you liked my video. If you did like the video, give me a like. You know, it really, you know, lets me know to keep this stuff going, keep doing this kind of stuff. Share this video if you think other people would like to see my guitar collection. Subscribe if it... So thanks again, everybody. If this is your first time here, you know, check out some of my other videos. I do a lot of guitar covers of my favorite video game music. I do some other covers of some metal stuff. I think I'm going to start doing a little more of those types of things because, you know, it's my channel and I like doing them. If this is your first time here, thanks again. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Smash that like button so I know that you guys like this video and want to see more stuff like this. Share this with your friends if you think they want to see my guitar collection. I don't know why they would, but who knows. I hope everybody's having happy holidays, have a happy new year, and I'll see you all next time.